Hey guys, today's video is going to be a foundation review on the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. And this video is going to be a little different from the rest of my foundation videos because this is a collaboration with the lovely ladies of the Beauty and the Vlog Facebook group. We all got together and decided to do a review on this product. We all have different skin tones and skin types. So please check their videos out to kind of get a more well-rounded review or different opinions based on different skin types of this foundation. And for your reference, I am in the shade Soft Beige and I have oily acne-prone skin. So let's get on to kind of the format of my foundation reviews. First is of course the intro right now where I kind of give a background. And then I head on to the application of the foundation where I kind of give you my tips and tricks of how to best apply this foundation because I have been trying this out for a few weeks now. And then lastly, I am going to have a full day wear test where I wear the foundation for at least 8 hours and then report back to you with close-ups and then my final concluding remarks. So if that's something you're interested in, please keep watching. Let's get on to kind of what this foundation claims. So this is, as the name suggests, is a matte foundation. So that right away tells me that it's kind of more geared towards oily skin types. It also claims that it is mineral rich, talc free, oil free, water resistant, and sweat resistant, which is interesting. I've never heard of a sweat resistant foundation before. And then it says it feels like silk on skin. And you know, right, I'm wearing it now, but yeah, it feels just fine on the skin. Anyway, this foundation retails for approximately $9.50. I got this at my local Target, but my local Target only carried 3 shades, and they were all the similar, within the same shade range, which is kind of lame because there's more than just one skin type. But on NYX's website, there are up to a total of 30 shades, which is pretty amazing. So if you have a more darker, deeper skin tone, then I think your best bet would be to find it online. Anyway, this foundation also claims to be a medium to full coverage, and I'll go in more detail with that with the application part, but I can say that it is definitely, you can build up the foundation to the coverage that you need. As you can see, I went for a more medium to a little bit full coverage. So with that being said, let's move on to the application part where I show you my tips and tricks for the best way to apply this foundation. I'll be comparing 2 types of primers with this foundation. The first would be the Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer, and this is more water-based, versus the NYX Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer, which is more silicone-based. So on this side, I'll do this water-based, and on this side, I'll do the silicone-based. I thought I'd like to compare these 2 primers on film for you guys because I think each serves a different purpose. But at the end, I don't think there's a huge difference. So this is kind of to give you options and see how this foundation wears on different types of primers. So anyway, I'm just going to apply a little bit of the primer on each side. So you can see this coconut skin one gives a really nice sheen to the face. So this is a really matte foundation. So if you don't want to look too matte, maybe something like this would work really great. And then if you do have pores and if you tend to have more oily skin like I do, the Photo Loving Primer does a great job of kind of keeping the oil at bay as well as minimizing the appearance of pores. While this foundation is advertised as medium to full coverage, I still like to conceal, or spot conceal my acne and brighten my under eyes. Because this foundation doesn't do a great job, you still kind of have to have some help with concealer. And as always, I'm going to use my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Custard to spot conceal around my face. Then I'm going to briefly brighten my under eyes using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard. Now with everything concealed, we'll go on with the powder foundation itself. So I'm going to be using the sponge that comes in the bottom half of this compact. And you can always damp it to really intensify the coverage, but I found that you tend to look a little bit more cakey that way. So I think with like lightly spot concealing and then adding the foundation will give you a pretty nice coverage. So I'm just gonna put some on the sponge here. Then I'm going to kind of like tap and dab at the same time to apply the foundation. Now everything's been applied. The overall finish is of course like pretty nice. It is a powder foundation, and the finish, like I said, is kind of like medium to full coverage. It does do a great job of evening out my skin tone throughout the face. And like I said, you definitely still need to spot conceal in order to get that nice medium to full coverage effect. And I'm going to give you a really quick close-up to kind of compare the two sides with the different primers. So here is my face all zoomed up and personal. So remember, this side was the water-based foundation, primer, and then this side was the silicone-based primer. So far, the feel is pretty natural, but the only problem I think with this foundation is that it tends to gather. So I don't know if you can see here, but it doesn't blend out very well. So like you have to use your fingers to kind of like blend out any patchiness with this foundation. So I think the water-based primer does a little bit of a better job of keeping the foundation looking well blended out. So be careful of that. Another thing to be mindful of is as you're applying, the powder does kind of gather around your nose, like any ridges of your face, and make sure that part is blended out. I kind of already did that, but I did have to go back and kind of like blend out any like gathering. So yeah, the overall finish, like overall feeling of the finish is great. It's just you have to be mindful of like patchiness as you apply it. So silicone side does not do that great of a job of doing that, but my pores are a little bit more minimized as expected. Anyway, I'll be back with the rest of my makeup and kind of show you another close-up of how it all ties in together. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my makeup. So nothing really much to add. The rest of the makeup does apply just fine over the foundation. Of course, the real test is how they all work together throughout the day. And as you know, my foundation reviews are full day wear tests. So right now it is 9 o'clock and I'll be wearing this for no less than 8 hours, and I'll report back to you guys about how it looks with close-ups and everything. So stay tuned for that and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back. It is now 5:20, so it's been 8 hours and 20 minutes since I have applied this foundation, and I forgot to mention that I was going to wear my glasses all day, but I'm not judging this foundation based on how well it wears on the nose, so please keep that in mind. I'll take these off since the lights are a little bit distracting, and I'm going to give you a little bit close up as I discuss how this foundation wore. So as a reminder, this side of the face was the water-based foundation, and this side of the face was a silicone-based. But overall, I think that this foundation just does not look impressive at all. As I mentioned, I am oily and it definitely shows. However, that's not exactly the problem. A lot of foundations I do wear, you know, I still see like a good amount of oil. So anyway, but the biggest problem is that here is a gathering of foundation like right above my eyebrows. It just like starts to like, you can kind of see the powder kind of gather together and oxidize a little bit, so it tends to look a little bit darker towards the end of the day. And then also it's a lot more apparent around the nose where you see foundation gathering around here and around here, and my glasses did not touch that area, so I know it wasn't that. And then a little bit around my chin area as well. So that's kind of like overall on both sides. On the water-based side, I look really cakey, and that's probably because of the foundation just gathering. But I think the makeup held pretty well. I think if I like pat it throughout the day on this side, it will look a little bit more, or I mean a little less cakey. And this side here was the silicone based, and while it looks less cakey and my pores are definitely less apparent, the makeup I don't think held very well. So here's where my blush was, and it just kind of looks like a little area of like redness, where this side was a little bit more natural looking. Not this side, not quite so much. And then I think the contour looks a little less natural than this side here. I don't know if you can see on the camera itself, but close up in the mirror here, definitely. So as you can see, each primer has its pros and cons. As an oily person, I'll probably just go with the water base, just because I know I'll be using like blotting paper out today, so that it can help keep the oiliness at bay while keeping the rest of the makeup looking pretty good. And as for the silicone based side, yeah, it's great for minimizing pores, but not so great at keeping your whole makeup together with this foundation that I'm wearing today. So here's a close-up, and yeah, I'll zoom you back out and give you my last thoughts. So I'm pretty sure you can tell by the close-up part of the video that I am not impressed by this foundation at all. So for a matte foundation, it did not do very well for someone with like an oily skin type like mine, but I think that was probably not the biggest problem of this foundation. It did not work with the rest of my makeup throughout the day, and I think that's the biggest problem. Like, I can definitely work with oiliness throughout the day by patting, but especially on the silicone based side, it just does not make my makeup look really good at all, even at initial application. So that's something to be noteful of if you do have this foundation. Probably stay away from the silicone base, even if you are oily and do have pores. If you don't want to have patchiness, then I would probably stay away from it and go towards more of like a more water-based foundation. It did do a little bit better, but again, like I said, you still have gathering of foundation through certain problem areas like above your brows, around your nose, and then around your chin. It just gathered and like got darker. So that was like the biggest problem for me, and which is why I'm giving this a pass. So yes, this is a cheap foundation, and like I said in the beginning, it's about $10, but I totally don't think it's worth the $10 at all. Alternatively, I would go with the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. That is, I think, about $15, and it has amazing coverage and does last throughout the day with some light padding. So those are all my thoughts on this product. Please don't forget to check out the other ladies in this video collaboration. They've also been testing this product out for a few weeks and may be able to offer a different perspective. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload every single Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!